All right, we are on to day 3 of stage 4. It's arms today, and we're including the whole arm, the shoulders, biceps, triceps. As you can see, we're starting off with some seated barbell press. Get a little bit of a warm up here, but we got 4 sets of 8 reps, so we're gonna go a little bit heavier because the reps are a little bit lower. Nice. Yeah. Oh, God. Dismount looks it's a little tricky.
Yeah, that was pretty heavy.
As you can see, we're doing the seated barbell press and with no backrest. You know, this changes things up a little bit, you know, in comparison maybe to standing or one with the backrest. It makes it a little bit more difficult. With the standing, you get a little bit of leg drive if things start getting a bit too heavy. You can push the legs, which can help. It's kind of like a self-spotter. Or even with the backrest, you can lean back a little bit more and press not only through the shoulders, but a little bit through the chest too, and feel like you can get a little bit more weight. With these ones, no backrest, takes a lot of core strength. You have no leg drive, you have nothing to lean back on, so it can feel a little bit heavier. So if you try these out, you've never done them before, go a little bit lighter at first, feel it out, and don't feel upset if you don't really do as much as you would normally do, maybe a standing overhead press or a seated one with a backrest. We got an isolation with the lateral raises, and then we're immediately moving on to a compound with the upright rows. Doing a little pre-exhaustion for the lateral head of the deltoid with the lateral raises, and then just finishing them off with the upright rows. Both dumbbell, like the dumbbell upright rows, a little bit more adjustable. Some people have a problem with upright rows in general, just due to their shoulder, either the mobility, you know, the way it's structured, or maybe just previous injuries. So, you know, we usually opt out, and instead of doing barbell ones, we'll do dumbbell ones, because you can kind of move them and find a comfortable position that feels the best for you. And the range of motion is usually a little bit better because of that as well. So this pairing is good. Definitely working on that shoulder pump.
And with all the stages, it can sometimes take that first week to really nail down the correct weight you'll be working with, especially when it comes to supersets, because you're already exhausting, like Brandon said, you're pre-exhausting the lateral head, the deltoid, then you're going right on to the upright row. So it can be under a little bit more stress than you're used to, hence why you should go a little lighter than you're used to, not only for safety concerns, but just so you can fully get those 3 sets of 10 reps.
On to the isolations, one after the other superset, doing the underhand barbell front raise. Good thing about the underhand, you know, changing the angle, it's externally rotating your arm, so it can be a lot more comfortable for your shoulder joint, puts in a little bit more of a prime position, comfortable position to, you know, lift that weight, to flex that shoulder there. If you're internally rotated, sometimes you can feel a little pinch, lack of range of motion. So doing underhand can fix that, change up the motion a little bit. Superset it right onto the reverse seated flies. So the seated, you're sitting down, you're bending over, basically touching your rib cage to your thighs there. It's really gonna support yourself throughout the motion. And then just kind of, instead of a fly motion, it's just reverse. Exact opposite, getting those elbows nice and high, squeezing, getting that posterior delt, a little with those traps. It works wonders. On to the important part of the arms. Biceps, triceps, naturally. Starting off with an isolation, superset, skull crushers, and barbell curls. 2 of the classics.
I was about to say, in regards to development and growth, if you just had 2 choices, skull crushers, bicep curls, you couldn't go wrong.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite for sure. Want to help build these guns.
Damn. Yeah. Ooh.
We got the seated dumbbell French press, supersetting with the spider curls. The French presses, really getting a nice deep stretch because your arms are in a vertical position, so you get that really good stretch, especially in the long head of the triceps. Go pretty damn heavy with these. Problem is sometimes hard getting the weight into position. You can always get help with that, or just, you know, practice with lighter weight, get down a little bit better. And then moving on to the spider curls. With these ones, the positioning is the arms dangling in front of you. The one benefit is it really takes the shoulder out of the motion. You'll notice in any kind of curling motion, you'll probably get a little bit of that flexion in that shoulder joint there, which is not necessarily a bad thing because the biceps can help with shoulder flexion slightly. Still get a little bit more contraction or engagement in the biceps doing that. You just don't want to go overboard by swinging. With these ones, since the shoulders are more in that just kind of relaxed state and your body's supported, really just those biceps pulling that weight, flexing the elbow, which can make it a lot more difficult as well. You really try to get that full range of motion, bring those dumbbells all the way to the sides of your head, and get that really peak contraction at the top squeeze before letting it down to the stretch position there. A great pairing though, and it's really good to focus on that stretch with the French press. Really good stretch all the way down, full range of motion. You don't have to go fully extended, but if it feels good for you, you can. Just keep that time under tension as well. With these ones, get that nice squeeze at the top, bring it all the way down. Don't lock out completely. Sometimes that can be a little dangerous for some people, so go right before lockout, before then going right up into the top position there. And again, working that time under tension.
Final exercise, side bends. 25 reps.
Oh yeah. Build up that endurance in there. Still going pretty heavy with it. Focusing on the obliques. You know, core work, it's not just the obliques. You know, your core is really working through this motion as well, the lower back, and stabilizing the motion. And it's all really about trying to gain that strength all through this midsection here. Really good for bracing, stabilization, especially when you're lifting the big lifts, you know, like squats and deadlifts and stuff like that. So that's why it's always important to include some kind of core work, and that's what we're doing. But that's the last one. That's it for this day.
We're 50% done with the final stage.
Yeah. And that's like 25% closer to the end. Or wait, how's that work?
We gotta step into the buff
Percentages?
dude splash zone.
Flex zone. Arms are done.
See you next time.